fight's not over.
Stop the fight!
People.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everybody. Ah!
All right, welcome back to Broke Bets. We are back with UFC 276. Before we start this video, let me just go to our sponsor. We are brought to you by Manscaped. Nah, just kidding. What's up, dude?
How we doing, my man? I'm currently drinking some body armor.
Sponsored by the UFC. Please reach out. Please do. Got probably the best card of the year. And you ready for it?
Let's do it.
All right, for the first fight of the night, this probably will be the lowest moment of the card, but hey, it only goes up from here. We got Jessica Rose Clark versus Julija Stoliarenko. Who you like here?
I'm leaning Jessica Rose Clark, and probably by decision. I think she'll just be able to put her up against the cage and work her in the clinch.
Yeah, it's a... I don't want to call it a striker versus grappler matchup because they're not really that great at either category. Jessica's got the wrestling advantage. Julia is kind of a wild card. Doesn't have great technique. I just like her ability to maybe get a takedown a little bit better. And Julia probably won't be able to stop takedowns. She's lost to a couple other ones. So it's a good chance here of her getting the decision. Anything else from you?
Nope.
Next matchup we have is Brad Tavares versus Dricus du Plessis. Pretty cool matchup. This is definitely going to be a nice fight to watch. And who do you like?
Yeah, I like du Plessis in this, and I like a knockout first or second round.
He's got an unorthodox style. We actually watched that knockout he had on blanking right now, Trevin Giles. And what I really like about him is that he swings through the target. He doesn't just like touch people. He like goes through your face to end you. So he's gonna have, I think, a power advantage here. And he also has got a really good ground game, and that I think will result in maybe a club and sub possibly as well. But do you think first or second round?
Yeah, I'm leaning one of those two. Probably first.
Yeah, Brad's a pretty decent fighter, but if I had to say like a comparison, he'd be like a Brad Riddell, where he's like pretty decent at a lot of things, but he's not that great anywhere. And he's kind of, or like an Eric Anders, but Eric Anders is worse. But they have that kind of same thing where there's a little bit of a tough guy getting a lot of close fights, but don't really take over. And I just see him getting put down. And I have a bet behind this one, so that's du Plessis' line is floating very more towards his side. So yeah, take that line, I'd say, before it gets out of hand. All right, for the next one, we have Jessica I versus Maycee Barber. I mean, this is a strange fight to me. I don't see much value in betting it. I bet a lot of people do. But we're going to pick Maycee Barber, but I'm just going to say with caution. I don't know if you think that as well.
I mean, I think Jessica I is really on the decline now, and I don't see her winning this fight at all. I mean, women's MMA can really go either way. Well,
it's like Maycee's last couple performances have been weird. Like, that Montana De La Rosa fight, like I don't know, she didn't do anything impressive to me. She just kind of held her up on the fence. And I think she's kind of figuring out that's her way to victory in fights, is like, if I hold this person up against the fence, then like I can win. So,
and I think that's exactly what she'll do here.
Yeah, she's really big for the division. But like, she's had controversy in her last couple fights. If like I has the strength to turn her around and stuff, I think that'll be a good attribute. But she's just on a losing streak. I think she's an all-around decent fighter, but there's nothing too impressive about her. I think Barber would beat like Cynthia Cavallo, who Jessica I lost to. But yeah, I see Barber decision.
Yeah, I's 35, almost 36 years old. Seems to be on the decline now.
Now that I think about it, just I guess actually over 2.5 rounds or Barber decision are probably the best moves for this. So I don't know if I'll do it for sure, but if you get plus odds at Barber by decision, it might be worth a stab.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, for the next fight, we have Uriah Hall versus Andre Muniz. I don't know how many people can stick with Uriah Hall here. I guess there's some justification, but not enough to trust him for your money. And we're going with Muniz. What do you like about his game?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that sticks out is his arm bars, and I see that path to victory here, and that'd be his 4th straight armbar submission victory.
I think also something that Uriah Hall struggles with is like being gun shy. Well, everyone knows that, and like Muniz really likes to just go after it and take the fight at his pace. And Uriah Hall's gonna really struggle with like if he gets up in his face. I don't think he's gonna be able to fight backwards really well and get his shots off on him. Unless Uriah Hall gets another like checked leg kick that breaks Muniz's leg, I don't see too many routes to victory for him. I don't know. Muniz is also, or Hall's also 37 years old. He's kind of on the way out here. But yeah, he's just not consistent enough for people to pick him. If you're looking at his Anderson Silva knockout, that was Anderson Silva at the end of his career. Shoe face. I don't know. It's just not the best record. Muniz here is just gonna probably go out and submit him pretty fast.
Yeah, I like first round submission here.
Yeah, I think he's gonna put that pace on him.
And I would like to see the odds for that when that drops.
Just first round or just sub?
Sub.
Probably. It'd probably be like -120, I would guess. But yeah. Probably good stab. Alright, for our next fight, we have Donald Cerrone versus Jim Miller. I wouldn't say it's a retirement fight like the Lozon Cerrone fight, because I think Jim Miller still has some energy in him, but it really should be for Cerrone. It's like the 3rd time we've had to talk about his fights in like 3 weeks, and I like Cerrone. I don't know how you feel about that.
I do not know. I mean, this is really a toss-up. I don't agree with the odds.
Yeah, the odds are -200, Jim, -225. Like, pretty out of crazy range. And I honestly might bet Cowboy, because there's a lot that goes into this. Jim's kind of like been beating these younger kids, and he hasn't been facing the best competition. Nicholas Malta, that was a nice KO. Joe Selecki loss. Vic Pichel loss. I mean, I just think that Cowboy, I think that he's been facing a lot better opponents, and sure, he gets chinned by a lot of these guys, but he's also faced Justin Gaethje and all these crazy good fighters. So, like, I just think there's a step down here for Cowboy, and there's a chance to recover. But I think he's going to KO him. Do you see a KO in this fight?
Yeah, I like the under in this one. Whatever it's at, it's probably 1.5. But yeah, I'd lean under. I'm not picking a side, Cowboy or Miller, but I'd take the under.
I'm gonna say round 2, but like, I don't know. This fight's at welterweight, so Cowboy gets to recover a little bit from 2 quick weight cuts.
His chin might be a little bit better not cutting all that weight.
Yeah, and Jim Miller, I mean, I really like both these guys a lot. I just think, a lot of Jim Miller's wins are from his ground game as well, and I don't think he's going to be able to submit Cerrone. And it's like I think his path to victory is the left hand to hit him, but I think Cowboy's got the better distance management with his kicks, and I think he's just going to be better here. I don't know. A lot of people might disagree, but He's got a 5-inch height advantage. I think that's pretty significant. But I think he's in a knee gym quite a bit. I think he might even get a head kick knockout, another classic. So, and hopefully signs off a nice career. But yeah, Cerrone, KO round 2. All right, for the next one we have Ian Garry versus Gabe Green. I know I wasn't very sold on the guy, but I think we're gonna pick Garry here. I know a lot of people disagree with the odds. I really don't. I think they're pretty accurate.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Ian Garry will win a decision here, probably taking the first 2 rounds, and maybe Gabe Green would take the third. But yeah, I like Garry to keep range here and throw out that jab, throw the leg kicks, and win a decision.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the same fight as the Darian Weech one. It's going to be Gabe Green trying to cut off the cage a lot, and the reason I think Jordan Williams gave Garry a little bit of problems while it was in the first round was because he charged him a lot, and I don't think Green can cut down distance that well. But yeah, in the Weech fight, Garry kind of just circled the cage and just touched him up for 3 rounds. It wasn't very entertaining, but he's going to do pretty much what Israel Adesanya has to do in fights, where he's just going to have to win those scorecards. And Gabe Green's side, honestly, his last win was okay, but it wasn't super impressive. He got dropped, and his opponent gassed out, and he just had a couple punches to then put him down. So, I don't know. It just feels like everything points towards Garry here to be defensively sound. And Gabe Green isn't some power puncher, so... And Darian Weech, the scare was that he could possibly get the fight to the ground, and he didn't. So yeah, would you look at the decision prop?
Yeah, I would. I would like that.
I don't think
depending on what the odds are. But.
I don't think Gabe's been KO'd, and Johan, the last guy, probably hits a lot harder than Garry. So
Jalin Turner knocked out Gabe Green in 2017 in Bellator.
That was a while ago, I guess. I'll have to think about it. I already got him in a parlay. Minus 150, I think, is a little bit of a steal for him, to be honest, so I'll take it.
Yep.
All right, for the next one, we have Ruthless Robbie Lawler versus Bryan Barberena. It's going to be a very close fight. I might hit the split decision prop on this one, just straight, maybe at plus 350 or whatever it's going to be at. And we're gonna say Lawler, but it's razor your thin here.
Yeah, if I had to make one pick in this fight, it'd be over 1.5 or 2.5, whatever that line is set at. I mean, this fight's just so close, and they're both so durable.
I agree. I mean,
decide.
If Lawler went 5 rounds with Covington, I would think he would be able to go 3 rounds with Barberena. So. I know Covington isn't a finisher, but Barberena doesn't have power, a crazy power or anything. So
yeah, he's just in your face,
and I don't know. He's gonna get hit a lot. I'd say over 1.5 is a good play because with the over 1.5, possibly if Robbie just wants to give up at the end, or if any of that's happening, you just avoid that. And yeah, we're going to go by split decision, but, Robbie's probably going to have a little bit better defensive striking than Matt Brown does. He does a lot better bobbing and weaving. And Barberena likes to walk into shots a lot. And I see that as a way. But yeah, it's going to be close. It'll honestly be a chance at the fight of the night if it stays close. This or Holloway Volk. So.
Yeah.
Yep. Lawler decision, hopefully his retirement fight. All right, next one we have is Brad Riddell versus Jalin Turner, the Tarantula. We both like Turner here. His last couple of fights are just undeniable. You can't just say I can't write him off anymore. I think I've been wrong about him twice. So, but yeah, what do you like about his game specifically?
Yeah, I mean his size stands out the most. His 6'3" lightweight. I think that's probably the biggest lightweight on the UFC, but Yeah, I like his size. He's got a good ground game, and I think he might get a knockout here, or finish at least.
I think I see a knockout too. He's been doing something to his last two opponents, like with Medic and with Jamie Malarkey. Is he just put such volume on them quick? He's got really fast hands for his size, and they can't really react in time. And I mean, Brad's only way to victory, in my opinion, is either like a crazy overhand or getting it to the fight to the ground. But something you have to think about with these guys who have such a big height advantage is that their get-up game is usually pretty good, because it's hard to hold down all that distributed weight. So if he gets to a hand, or if he gets to a knee or a leg, he'll usually get up. And I think in general, these Lawler dudes too, they can sweep people pretty well and take over positions. So I think he has a chance at a sub too here. But yeah, I like KO. I'm gonna say round 2.
Yeah, and just looking back at Turner's fights, Joshua Kulabau, that's turning into a halfway decent victory in 2020.
Right. And I mean, he had some losses, but those were like 3 years ago, and he lost to Lute, and that was a tough knockout. But like, Lute's knocks people out. That's what he does. Riddell's loss, Fiziev, he was very gun shy in that fight. But I won't blame him. The Drew Dober fight, a lot of people like, that was a very close fight, but I don't call Drew Dober like an elite fighter. I think Turner would piece him up as well. So I don't know. I think Jalin Turner round 2 KO, or possibly club and sub, one of the two. I like that a lot. Yeah, I'd say take the line on him before it goes crazy. I might even parlay him with somebody, because I think this is a steal. Next fight we have is Pedro Munoz versus the Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley, the hype train. And we got O'Malley here. I think a lot of people, it's kind of undeniable hard not to pick him, but there is routes to victory for Pedro, but Sean, I think, just has more ability here.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be able to box his head off, and I'm leaning towards a Sean O'Malley decision. Munoz is just so durable. He's never been finished before. And
round 3 KO prop too.
Yeah.
That's might be a move. That might be like plus 900, something like that. Yeah, Pedro's never been KO'd. He has a significant height advantage over Pedro, so like maybe kicks and stuff up the middle might be a way for Sean to KO him, or knees or something. But he doesn't really leave his feet that much, Sean. He just kind of moves side to side really well. He said he wanted that knockout. You see that in the interview today?
Yeah.
So that makes you a little nervous about trying to go after the decision prop, but I think in general, Pedro really doesn't cut off the cage very well on people. Like, he fought Dom Cruz, and he literally just chased Dom the whole fight. And he did knock him down, but Dom came back and pretty much obliterated him in the next 2 rounds. And, I mean, his ways to victory are going to be trying to wrestle, which he's not really known for, and leg kicks, possibly. But I think Sean has to have a plan in place for that, because he's got to know he wants to throw them leg kicks. And I just see Sean moving up the ladder here, and Pedro's on his way out. He's lost quite a few, so
yeah, he's lost 4 of his last 5, but they're all top guys.
True, very true.
Maybe not Edgar anymore.
And something that stands out too is Sean really doesn't like to get hit, and Pedro hits really hard. So but it's like, even what Conor McGregor or Sean is even trying to say is like, precision and timing beats power and speed. So we'll see. I guess Sean would still have the speed advantage, so maybe he has 3 of those categories. But yeah, Sean by decision, I think, is the move. And
O'Malley to win in the 3rd round is currently at plus 1,000.
I think we got to put a little something on that. That's
$5 maybe.
Something. Okay, for the next one we have Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira. Kind close matchup. Sean's a pretty talented striker for the division. Just beat up Uriah Hall in his last fight. Versus Pereira, who's a kickboxing champion, knocked out Izzy before. And I liked Sean just that little bit more here because it's an MMA fight.
Yeah, I think this will go one of two ways. Either Strickland will be able to take him down and lay on him, or I could see Pereira chewing up the leg of Strickland and getting a knockout.
Exactly.
First or second round.
Yeah, I mean,
Strickland does leave his front leg out there, which kind of does worry me if we're picking Strickland, but I like his ability to take him down.
he stands really straight up too, so like getting, at least if he wants to like cut down the distance with a right hand while kicks out there, he'll probably have some trouble. But I like his striking defense too. I think he'll keep a really high guard from Pereira's like left hook. I don't see him really getting KO'd by that. I mean, there's a chance. But also, dude, Sean is like Colby Covington, but he's like the fuck the world version of him. You know what I mean? He does he's doing the gimmick that he's like acting like a jackass to make everyone hate him, and then he just does this gimmick, same as Colby, different style, to get everyone to dislike him, and he can really fight. It's the same thing. I really like Sean Strickland.
I think his fight IQ is pretty good too.
Oh, he's really smart, dude. I mean, in the cage, that is. But he really just plays that role, and I think people are gonna keep doing the same thing to him. They're gonna keep doubting him because he's gonna keep winning. So, and he said in that interview he wants to do the man dance, and if it doesn't, he'll get down and hump him. And I think it's just gonna come down to that. So, yeah, I'm gonna say that Sean Strickland shags Alex Pereira.
I wouldn't mind seeing Pereira win just because I think he has a decent chance at beating Izzy.
He might get that next title shot too, because there's nobody in line.
Yeah, I think whoever wins this will get the next title shot.
And honestly, I could see too. I know this is kind of off topic for the moment, but I could see Izzy trying to move up in weight classes and fight Garry if nothing can get scheduled. So, because that stylistically favors him better than what Glover would. So
yeah.
All right, and for the next one, we have Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus the Blessed Express, Max Holloway. Probably a very anticipated fight for many people.
Probably the main event should be.
It's a very strategic fight, and a lot of people, I think, didn't like the first two fights because like they weren't guns blazing, but it's because both of these guys have really good fight IQs, so like they're not going to just run into each other the whole time like trains. But we just got Volkanovski by an edge, dude. I gotta stick with my boy. I've been with him since he's been on the up and up. So decision.
I like Volk by decision.
I mean, he just has some intangible things that are like hard to not pick. He has some great leg kicks that help him slow down like Max and other fighters, and that's how he won the first fight. And also, if you think Max won the first fight, you are really dumb. I have to say that to my brother because he thought that. He didn't say he won, but he thought it was very, very close. Could have gone either way. But the second fight, I mean, personally, I scored it 1-2 Holloway, obviously, and then 3-4-5 Volk. But sure, there's some controversy in how all that stuff works. It is how the sport works, in my opinion. And in this one, I mean, I just see 3 rounds to Volk or a split decision. I don't know if you see that as well.
Yeah, I think we're in for another really close fight. I mean, these are the top 2 guys in the featherweight division, and if Max wins, we're probably going to see another one. But if it's another split decision, will we see another one?
They might take some time and then they do it. But yeah, like I mean, I don't know. I think what I see happening in this fight too, for what the guys need to do to secure rounds, and Max actually did some of this in the Yair fight, and Volkanovski tried doing it in the last Holloway fight. is that at the end of rounds, they'll shoot takedowns in the last, 30 seconds, and they'll get the control time to try to secure that round. And I think Volk's going to try to do that in rounds 3, 4, and 5. So...
yeah, I like him doing that. I like his inside trip. He showed that against Tang Sung Jung.
Yeah.
It worked. Well there.
I like that, I don't know, Volk's calculated with his grappling, and Max does have a very good get-up game. I don't really see him holding him down, but just, even in the Gamrot thing, it's just sure, the wrestling is no damage, but the judges will store it for that little bit of control time. Another thing about the combinations between these two is that I think typically the exchange will start with hesitation or a jab by Volk, and then Max returns, and you'll almost notice that Volk almost always ends the combo with something. He'll be the last one to strike, and I think that's something that helps too. And just improvement wise, I think Volk's getting better each fight. Obviously the grappling, from what we can see. And he's also straightening out his punches more. Where he was facing Zombie, he was putting more heaters on that dude than anybody has before. So, yeah. I see Volk by decision. Another really close fight, though. Both dudes are great. And Volk just keeps the history going here. Anything else you got?
Should be pound for pound number one. If he does this in 49, 46, or 50, 44. I think if he gets a dominant one, I think he should be pound for pound one.
So do you bet the probably the over on rounds or the fight going the distance?
It's minus 196 for it to go the distance.
That seems like a steal. We've seen it go the distance twice.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you'd really want to, I saw Max was at plus 270 something for decision. Why not do that? I feel like you got I'd say you got a 35 to 40% chance that goes. I feel like that's worth it. And
the way judging has been recently, man, I mean, it's worth a stab.
Yeah, it could go either way. I know Volk's kind of got the second decision a little bit more towards his way, and I don't know how the judges will score it, but again, the takedown factor and a couple more intangible things. Yeah, Volkanovski decision, the featherweight GOAT. Okay, and for the main event, fight fans, are you ready? Israel Adesanya versus Jared Cannonier. I think Izzy's a lock. I don't know how you can pick Cannonier here. Just not much to go off of, to be honest. What are your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, it just really shows you there's no one else in middleweight division.
I mean, Cannonier's a good fighter, but Whitaker really took 2 rounds out of Cannonier. Really, just beat him up pretty good at the Habib Oliveira card, or not Oliveira, Habib Gaethje card. And stylistically, I think it's just a fight where Izzy needs somebody who's going to try to stand up with him. There's not going to be that much of a threat of a takedown, and they'll try to play his game. And I think Cannonier probably will be that guy. No one's solved this puzzle yet. Jan Blachowicz, but that was predictable. There's a weight advantage. But Cannonier, I don't think he's going to be able to connect on the chin with Izzy perfect. He doesn't have a speed advantage. I feel like with Gastelum, he could cut down and had a speed advantage on Izzy. And Whitaker had a little bit of a speed advantage in his straight punches, and that was why he had some success in the last fight. But Jared, I don't think, has that ability to touch him or how he wants to.
Right. I could see this playing out like the Izzy Paulo Costa fight.
Yeah, very similar. I mean, if Jared wants to win it, he's got to get him up close to the fence, and he's got to... I think a strategy people really haven't used for Izzy yet is body shots. No one's really... I know it's hard to get into his range because he's very good at that stuff, controlling range, but Whitaker in the first fight and everyone, they throw windmills at his head, and he just leans back on him, but his body sits right there to be open, and I think that's the the spot maybe Jared's gonna go for, but I've had a hard time seeing him get past this one, and I got Izzy as my lock of the card.
Yeah, third round knockout.
Yeah, that's the round I was thinking too. And yeah, for next title shots, I think it's either Sean Strickland Pereira or he's gonna go fight Garry. I can't think of anyone else in middleweight that would really deserve the shot. Andre Muniz is up there, but he needs to fight someone still closer to the top. And then Hamzat will kill him soon enough.
Yeah, I sure hope so.
He will. He's just too good of a wrestler for him. But
yeah, I think that's what that division needs, is a dominant wrestler to beat him.
well, it's like the most dominant one's Marvin Vettori, and he's not super dominant at wrestling anyway.
Right.
So,
right.
And then Brunson behind him, who like looks like a drunken sailor once he tries 5 takedowns and fails. So, but yeah, Izzy KO round 3. I feel like it's pretty easy to predict his fights and how they play out, and I think this one's gonna be a knockout. Okay, these were our picks for UFC 276. Stay tuned for the bets video. It'll come out on Wednesday or Thursday. And stay tuned to the Instagram to get all the spots early before those lines go bizarre. I already posted like 4 or 5 ones that we got for this week. Anything else you got?
Like the video, please.
Yeah, like and subscribe. We're pushing our way up the ladder. And hope you guys like this breakdown. Leave a comment below if you like it, or if you have something to say, if you disagree. And peace.
Peace.